I wasn't supposed to save a dime. When the recession hit, I was working 2 part-time jobs, pulling in just under $2,000 a month. Rent swallowed half. Groceries and bills took the rest. I didn't have a latte habit to cut. I didn't have a car to sell. Honestly, I didn't have much of anything except stress. People like me don't usually save money during a downturn. We survive.
Barely.
So when I tell people I managed to save $18,000, not over 10 years, but in just 18 months, the first thing they ask is, how? And the real answer? I stopped listening to traditional financial advice. I ignored all the guilt-ridden budgeting hacks. I started doing weird things. Some of them were small.
Some were kind of extreme.
But they worked. This isn't about discipline. It's about strategy. And if you're earning a low income right now, this might be the smartest thing you'll hear all year. The recession broke all the math. A few years ago, everything changed. The world economy started falling apart. Prices went up, jobs disappeared, and even the safe jobs weren't safe anymore. For people like me who already lived paycheck to paycheck, it felt like the floor disappeared. Rent went up. Groceries got more expensive every month. Gas prices were crazy. My small income didn't stretch the way it used to. It didn't stretch at all. Suddenly, the old money advice felt like a bad joke. Cut subscriptions. Make coffee at home. Really? That was supposed to save me? I tried budgeting, tracking every penny, but it only made me feel worse. I felt like I was drowning in bills I couldn't avoid. No matter how much I planned, the numbers never added up. I didn't need another spreadsheet. I needed a new way to think. It hit me one night. The rules had changed, but I hadn't. If I wanted a different result, I needed a different approach. One that actually worked for someone with low income, high stress, and zero margin for error. That was the moment everything started to shift. 1. I stopped budgeting and started building a system. I used to think budgeting was the answer. So I downloaded apps, made charts, color-coded my spending, and still ended up broke every month. The truth? Budgeting felt like doing homework with no reward. It showed me where the money went, but didn't stop it from leaving. So I stopped budgeting. I built a system instead. I opened 3 bank accounts and gave each one a job. Spender account. This was for daily spending, food, transport, anything flexible. Grown-up account for rent, bills, subscriptions, the fixed stuff. Ghost account, the secret one. I set up an automatic transfer every payday. I never looked at it. Out of sight, out of mind. The goal was simple. Make saving automatic, not emotional. I stopped making decisions about money every day. Instead, I made one smart decision at the beginning of the month and let the system do the rest. That's when things changed. I no longer had to try to save. It just started happening in the background. Like magic, I built myself. Budgeting told me what wasn't working. My system made things work without me thinking about it. 2. I monetized the mundane. I didn't get a raise. I didn't win the lottery. I just started looking at everyday things differently and found ways to make money from them. It started with my closet. I had old clothes, shoes I never wore, and random stuff collecting dust. I listed them on Facebook Marketplace and eBay. People bought them
Fast.
It was like turning clutter into cash. Next, I noticed people were throwing away useful stuff, chairs, shelves, electronics. I cleaned them up and resold them. One broken blender sold for $20. It added up. I also signed up for small, flexible gigs. Mystery shopping, dog walking, user testing websites. Most paid just $10 to $30, but I treated them like hidden money missions. All that extra income went into my ghost account. I called this my weird income strategy, turning boring things into bonus money. Over time, I made more than $4,000 from these small, random things. Most people ignore the simple stuff around them, but in a recession, boring equals opportunity. I didn't hustle harder. I hustled smarter.
I didn't need a new job.
I just needed to look at what I already had and ask, can this make me money? 3. I used financial fasting like a monk. I noticed something strange. I wasn't broke because I bought expensive things. I was broke because I made tiny purchases all the time. One coffee here, a quick online order there, $5, $10, $20. It didn't seem like much. But by the end of the month, those small buys added up to big problems. That's when I started experimenting with something I now call financial fasting. It's like a diet, but for your wallet. For 30 days, I stopped buying anything that wasn't essential. No snacks, no takeout, no random online deals. Just groceries, rent, and bills. The first week was hard. I kept reaching for my phone to scroll through shopping apps. I realized I wasn't buying because I needed things. I was buying because I was bored, anxious, or tired. By week 2, something changed. The cravings started to fade. I felt calmer, clearer. By week 4, I had saved hundreds without even noticing. But more importantly, I retrained my brain. I stopped shopping for comfort. I started asking, do I really want this? Or am I just avoiding something else? That one habit, financial fasting, helped me pause, think, and spend with intention. I still do it every few months. It doesn't just save money, it builds self-control. And in a world where everything wants your attention and dollars, that's priceless. 4. I moved into a money coop. Rent was my biggest expense. No matter how much I saved elsewhere, half my paycheck disappeared every month just to keep a roof over my head. That's when I made a big change. I moved into what I call a money co-op. It was just a shared house, but with a twist. 4 of us, all trying to save money, moved into a 3-bedroom apartment. We shared rent, groceries, internet, and utilities. My rent dropped from $900 to just $430. But the best part? We created a team. We started pooling money for bulk groceries to save more. We cooked together. We challenged each other to no-spend weekends. We even made a whiteboard savings tracker on the fridge. It turned into a friendly game. Who could save the most that month? It didn't feel lonely anymore. It felt like a movement. The money coop taught me something powerful. When you save together, it feels less like sacrifice and more like progress. You share tips, meals, and motivation. Living alone made me feel stuck. Living smart with others helped me grow. You don't need a fancy house to win with money. Sometimes you just need the right people under one roof. 5. I didn't cut expenses. I compressed them. Most budgeting advice says to cut back, but cutting everything felt like starving. I needed a better way. So I tried something new, compression. Instead of spending randomly throughout the month, I chose 2 spending days. The 1st and the 15th. That's it. I could buy anything I needed, but only on those days. At first, it felt strange, but soon I noticed something amazing. I started spending less without even trying.
Why?
Because the time between those days made me wait. It gave me space to think before I bought. And half the time, I didn't want a thing anymore. I also added fun to the process. I marked my spend days on a colorful calendar. It became something I looked forward to, like a mini event. Instead of feeling guilty every time I bought something, I felt in control. This method, compressing instead of cutting, helped me keep the joy of spending without the chaos of always spending. It's like intermittent fasting, but for your wallet. You don't remove all the fun. You just give it structure. And for me, that structure became the secret weapon to saving thousands while still enjoying life. At first, saving felt slow. The first $500 took weeks, but then it started to snowball. With systems, smart habits, and some odd income tricks, $500 became $1,000, then $3,000, then $10,000. By month 18, my savings account hit $18,000. No huge windfalls, just momentum. And that momentum gave me something even better than money: belief. I became recession-proof. What I didn't expect was how saving money would change me. The best part? I stopped living in fear. For the first time in my adult life, a surprise bill didn't ruin me. I used to feel anxious about every bill. One emergency could ruin everything. But with money in the bank, I stopped living in fear. I didn't panic when prices rose. I didn't stress about surprise car repairs. I had a buffer, a cushion, a sense of peace. And it wasn't just the money, it was the mindset. I no longer felt like a victim of the economy. I had power again. In a world full of uncertainty, that power is priceless. That's what saving gave me: freedom. Looking back, the $18,000 is great, but it's not the real win. The real win was learning that I'm capable, that even in hard times, I can grow, I can adapt, I can save, even when the world says I can't. I didn't wait for perfect conditions. I started with what I had and made it work. If you're earning a low income and feeling stuck, I get it. I've been there, but you don't need luck. You need a plan that fits you. Start small, stay weird, and remember, the best time